Hey guys, can you hear me okay? Let me let this catch up. Hey Tammy, hey Trixie, hi Melanie. You guys know I'm a little slow. I'm gonna wait until you guys tell me if you can hear me okay. Hey Tammy Frazier, you guys can hear me? I'm trying a different. Hello. Sound is good? Oh. Cheshire Mercury. All right, guys. Let's get into it. Hey Missy. I was actually a little upset that we couldn't see her hanging out in her little cell. She was probably going to be like, Hey GV. All right, so I am going to go ahead and read from Spencer Wilson of Twitter because I really like him. Let me go full screen. Let's go check Spencer. Grammy, she got up and walked out. Hey KB. Insomnia is a bonus if I can catch a live. Let me actually start with Spencer. I really like he really is on top of a lot of things. And of course, guys, it was live. I tried to get into the WebEx, but they wouldn't let me do that either. They're being mean. So 3 years ago it started, and I kind of waited for it to be over so we could kind of get everything in at one time. Hey, I was going to go on cam, guys, but I'm like running around with my head cut off. And if you hear my little rooster, just ignore him to be a part of the show. Okay. So Spencer Wilson, he has been following Letecia's case forever. So it starts off, Mr. Tolini has entered the courtroom, and we know that he's Letecia's lawyer. He's the newly defense attorney for Letecia Stauch after the whole fiasco earlier with her representing herself, then backing out. He was given the task of starting from scratch earlier this year on the case. Hey, Matt. Nope, there's no WebExing it. It's over. I tried. So then Spencer says, we just watched the fourth judicial DA and his team walk in too. Both attorneys are now in the courtroom, but doors for reporters haven't opened yet. Expected delay. Gannon's parents have entered the courtroom. Seeing some blue eyeshadow and some somber faces, we were just told if we leave the courtroom, we'll have to stay out. Planning to only leave for recess. Just watched the fourth DA gives Gannon's mom, Landon Holt, a hug. She's also wearing a blue mask. PIO for DA just said Letecia will be appearing over WebEx, not in person. I'll clarify that if that changes. Letecia Stauch is now visible on the TV screen in the courtroom. She's in the classic orange jumpsuit with hair past her elbows. She's standing in a long hallway with a door behind her, presumably at the El Paso County Jail. Hey, Jimmy. Yes, Matt, I'm going to do that tomorrow, but today, because I had to go to work, I missed that. So we'll do that on day 2. Hey, Jen B. girl. So, All Rise Court is now in session. I cannot wait for this girl to go to court and for Gannon to get justice. So, judge now going through rules in the courtroom. We are good with live tweeting so long as our keystrokes aren't too loud, trying to hit the keys off my laptop slowly. I like Spencer. The judge says no emotional outburst. People who try to disrupt this process will be kicked out. Public viewing was initially going to be pushed to an overflow room, but now they are just hanging in the back. We are now hearing why Letecia is over WebEx. So Letecia didn't want to show up in court, so her attorneys tried to appear on her behalf. The DA asked she be here in person. Judge is mulling it right now. Hi, Hartley. Jen B, she needs some of that jail justice. You're absolutely correct. So she didn't want to be there in person. I guess maybe she didn't want to face Gannon's parents, ex-husband. She just an evil, evil woman. So Spencer goes on and says, you understand that even if you aren't here, the hearing will still take place. Yes, sir. They will still present evidence. Letecia says, yes, sir. Letecia says, I have confidence in my counsel. Huh. I'm surprised that she's not saying that she is Dr. Stauch. What is to that said? Phone call, not virtual, personal use. Yeah, we're gonna do that tomorrow, Matt. He said probably too expensive. I had to work. So Judge Warner saying they are going to submit evidence. Don't you want to hear that or see that? She says, I have faith in my attorneys. He's now explaining this meeting could change the bail situation in the case. Unlikely, in brackets. She says she doesn't care. You cannot woman up. Judge asks, are you sure? Letecia, yes, sir. Have you had some time to think about it? She says, about a year. Oh my gosh. Judge says they will give her another chance to join tomorrow. But for now, Letecia is out. She left the hallway. The DA is now saying he objects. Judge Warner says he hasn't made his decision on whether or not she can actually do that. Do you see what she's already doing? Like, she's already trying to start problems, and it's like not even 15 minutes into the preliminary hearing. Hartley, I'm kind of gutted she's not representing herself, right? That would have been crazy. So the DA and Letecia is refusing to be transported, not because of COVID protocols, but simply because she didn't want to. He says he'll have a harder time proving his point without her being here. Wow, Spencer says. The DA just said he believes her not showing up should be grounds to just move this to a trial and not even bother with this hearing today. That would be the first time I've seen this happen. That would mean we wouldn't hear the details of the case until then. No, don't do that to us. I have not read this yet, so I'm like, no, don't do that. Just sheer 15 minutes manipulation. Yep, she's got to have her little evil attitude. Grammy, she's crazier than Lori Vallow. Hartley, she should be there, face what she has done exactly. Judge needs to make a decision on that. We will see what he chooses. Now hearing from Mr. Tolini. Tolini says he doesn't understand the argument from the DA that witnesses will not be able to point to Letecia if she isn't here. She's the same Letecia as she has always been. Yeah, crazy. He says he wants to still go forward with the preliminary hearing. The judge says he believes Letecia has waived her appearance, but in this case, She wants the proceedings to go forward, but she's not here for it. What a coward. She's hanging towards keeping the preliminary even without her. Yay! So then it says she is represented by counsel here and clearly said she did not want to waive the hearing themselves, so we will keep the preliminary. Okay, here we go then. Asked the DA if he is ready. He says yes, also calls the first witness. Mentioning that Letecia would be waiving her prelim for other charges, attorneys chat about doing that today or tomorrow, but now on to the first witness. Jason Yoder is the first witness. The judge is swearing him in now. The DA attorney passes Yoder a big old binder of photos of evidence. Yoder is from the Santa Rosa County, Florida, sergeant of Major Crimes Unit with Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office. And what I'll do, guys, after this video is done is I'll make a quick video and get all of their pictures together so we can kind of see what they look like, who is talking, because I really like to have a visual. It might be, but I really like to see who people are talking about. And if I had time, I would have done it earlier, but literally I walked in, I took a potty, I was texting you guys, I'm going to be right there in the bathroom, and boom, here I am. So March 17th, 2020, he got a call from bridge workers for a discovery of a body under a bridge that's Gannon. So guys, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of trigger warnings involved in this. I did hear in another article prior that there's definitely some trigger warnings, so I'm just giving you guys a head up now. KB just shows me how she doesn't give a damn about what she's been accused of. I totally agree with you, KB. Body was inside of a suitcase. Oh gosh, I don't even know if I'm ready for this, guys, but I do want to know. Advocate, hey girl, Monkey Mar, inspect hun. Love you, girl. I heard that I was your little spirit animal. Oh my gosh. I hope I don't cry, guys, but if I cry, bear with me because this case really messed me up. Okay. Body was inside of a suitcase. Body was emptied before they got there by the Department of Transportation. Megan Ponder is who found the suitcase. They were looking at the west side of the bridge, walking under it. He and his partner found the suitcase, drug it out, opened it, dumped it out, and found the body. Aw, thank you, Kate. Al Stauch is staring directly ahead. Things start right off the bat with rough details. Yoder now says the body was wrapped in blankets when he got there. It appeared to be that of a child, a small child. Any idea why this prelim shows up? Oh, that's somebody replying, guys, excuse me. There's likely just a placeholder. Okay, let's get back into the, out of his little, 1 second. So what happened? Let me get back into this part. 1 second, guys. Let me see if he's gonna, let me update this thread on him. I can look at the comments for a minute. Grammy, too crazy enough not to kill his poor little Ganon. I don't understand, like, when she transferred poor Ganon to Florida, how did nobody, like, what did she say? Hey, I gotta pull over and throw something over the bridge? I just don't. Let me see if he stopped. If not, don't worry, guys. I have a backup. I really want to read from him because I really like him. It's there. Nope. Okay. He says the blankets, when he got there, it appeared to be a small child. Clear that part of this area is not in Yoder's jurisdiction. Lots of east of the bridge, west of the bridge. The DA is trying to say which side of the bridge would indicate which direction somebody would be driving. Hi, I'm Canary. I don't know when she did it, but I will say that, but I want to finish reading it and then we can talk about it, guys. But I know exactly what bridge. My girlfriend lives in this Pensacola area, and I've been over that bridge many times. Yoder says Yoder says the suitcase would be on the eastbound lanes going away from Pensacola. So that would be going to the north. Going to the north on that highway. So the suitcases were thrown over to the right. It says there is an emergency pull-off area near where the suitcase was found. And that is where that big hotel is, like the Wood Suites or something, where people can stay like months at a time. It's like right there. Catherine Stellar, evil woman. She shot him. Ugh. Catherine, she's evil. Yoder says, so the DA says, if you looked right down from the bridge, would you be where the suitcase was found? Yoder said, yes, sir. Would that indicate it was dropped? Yes, sir. Yoder says, they tell if it was a male child based on the clothing, figured they were between 9 and 13 years old. The medical team came and removed the body for an autopsy. Also checked local records for missing kids, nothing statewide, but national. A flyer was brought to my attention of a missing Colorado child. Was that a flyer of Gannon Stauch? Yes. Asks, I haven't, Crime Canary, I guess we're going to have to wait for the details of that. I have no clue. I know there was like a couple of things involved. Asks if it is unusual for a body to be found from another state. Mr. Tolini objects and the judge overrules. No, sir, that is not normal. Says he contacted the EPC sheriff then. And these have little notes and stuff that afterwards we can open them up if you guys want to and see the documents. But let's just get through this first day so then we can talk about everything. Severely decompositioned, says the body was in a fetal position. Sorry, this is rough. There were efforts to take the blanket off the body, clean it. Could you see injuries? Yes. Oh, yes. Here we go, guys. Fractured skull, gunshot to the jaw, sharp force injuries to the back. There were a few cuts on his arms, a few on his hands. Would that be consistent with defensive injuries? Yes, sir. That's horrible. Paints the picture Gannon was trying to block a knife. Al has red eyes at this point. The room is silent except for typing and speaking. Whew, whoosah. Autopsy will specifically detail out how many stab wounds. Lower left jaw is where he was shot, according to the autopsy. 2 red pieces also. Whew. Yoder is explaining how they found projectiles in some of the pillows and blankets also found in the suitcase. All were sent to the EPC sheriff. Guys, I'm not going to look at your comments right yet because I'm going to get completely, I'll probably start crying. Ask Yoder to open the book. People's Exhibit 1. This looks like the flyer that was brought to my attention, trying to identify Ganon. Exhibits are being shown on monitors around the courtroom. First up is that flyer many of us have seen with 4 photos of Ganon. Yoder says we thought it was him because of the gap in his teeth and his 2 large front teeth. California, Catherine Stellar. Whew. Hello. I don't know if I missed anyone. Advocate, can I make you a mod? Not that I really need mods because everyone here is so cool and no drama. Are those photos depicting the scene under the Gambia River Bridge? Oh, excuse me, guys, I missed something. Now on to exhibits 2 through 8. They aren't up on the monitor yet. Are those photos depicting the scene under the Gambia River Bridge? Yes, sir. Exhibits are admitted. And we can go look at these files either before the preliminary tomorrow, or I can make a video, or after I read this, guys, tell me if you want to go ahead and open them and see what they are, because I have not looked yet. I'm kind of watching it with you guys the first time. We are now seeing the suitcase under the bridge. His parents are bent over in their pew. A few folks are crying behind me softly. Ask Yoder how you get access to this side of the bridge. Yoder says it would be really hard to cross over the river from the other side. He is trying to illustrate which side of the road somebody would have had to be on to dump the suitcase. Yoder says this is a frequently traveled bridge for people in the state for driving through. Yoder is now pointing to the photo to highlight where the body is and the impression was where they believe the suitcase landed. What's the distance between where the suitcase is and the impression is? 6 to 8 feet. Mr. Ponder dragged it out of the woods? Yes. Out. Step close photo of Ganon wrapped in blankets, laying next to the suitcase. You can see his hairline peeking out. His family is bent over, silent but no longer watching. Just a photo of his impression. Basically a dent in some grass. Blue sharks on it. Yoder says he found projectiles in this. One of the blankets found in the suitcase, and 7 is the other side of the blanket. It's the same blue shark pattern. Another blanket, this one is blue. DA confirms they sent all that to E. Sheriff. Time for Mr. Tolini to cross-examine. Hi, Jackie, good citizen. Oh gosh, my God. Hi, my heart. I'm so trying not to cry. Ooh, Mr. Tolini is asking about the lacerations to the hands. Yoder says, I don't remember them to be all that deep. Other cuts deep. How deep were those? I don't remember. Did she say it would have been enough to be fatal? Had it as a contributing factor, but not the most? 1 bullet was recovered from inside the body and 2 from inside the blue shark pillow. Yoder says he saw 2 holes in the pillow, no exit holes. Yoder says doctor doing the autopsy says the gunshot was enough to be fatal. Yes. Tolini asks if the skull fracture could come from the suitcase going over the bridge. Yoder says she did not say either way. Muzzle to flesh. Oh my God. Letecia Evil Stauch. You are one evil woman. Hi, Bella Bella. Muzzle to flesh. Letecia Stauch actually put that gun right to that little poor. Oh my gosh. They did not see this. That indicates someone was close when they fired. No real details on how the gun was fired, but it sounds like more than 18 inches. Oh. Otherwise, there would have been marking or burns from gunpowder. Okay, so she didn't do that thing. Redirect from the DA. I don't. Yoder says no clue of indications of which was the fatal cause, but that the fatal gunshot wound and the fatal blow to the head are listed. Trying to clear up timeline attacks says they wouldn't be listed if they happened after he died. Yoder says the stage of decomposition was about a month when they found him. Yoder says the body was in the suitcase for a substantial amount of time. Body fluid leaked through the case where the suitcase was. Now, let me pause here for a second and ask you guys what you think. If she put him in Colorado and it was winter, you know, Gannon was probably frozen on the partial trip down to Florida. And I really hate to say this, but, you know, he could have like thawed out in that suitcase all the way when she threw him over the bridge. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he was out in the snowfield for a while. What was it, a couple weeks? So she drove his little frozen body to Florida, and now we are reading about this. Fly high, G-Man. Justice is coming for you, little man. Kevin Clark is up next for the prosecution too. Clark is working with the DA, focusing on Gannon Stauch. He was with the CSPD before this as a detective. 924 evidence will be admitted while talking to him. Excuse me. Did work with the, let's just say the sheriff, because we all know what's happening. He was drafted to work with the sheriff for this case, along with the FBI. He seems to be an expert on T, like reactors and cell records. He's talking about telematics, a system installed in a car, giving locations and time records, dropping breadcrumbs which can be retrieved later. The DA is setting up some of the things we saw in the leaked arrest report. We are seeing Exhibit 9 now. It's a map with arrows pointing in different directions. The DA says all of these exhibits will be maps, minus a hotel receipt at the very end. This was with telematics, some with GPS and cell records. The Volkswagen, that car, it was that black Tiguan. So when they were over at the house, that's where, and Gannon was actually in the back of that car. I wish they would have found him that day. The map we're seeing is the records from that car from January 28th, 2020. There's flags with time markers for Tuesday morning. This is the day after Gannon was reported missing. Clark says, this shows Letecia's car driving, going to DIA, the airport, to pick up Al Stauch returning home. 8:30 a.m. A neighbor's home camera sees the car leave. You might remember at Cat Silver TV had a stories about this during the search. We remember Gannon and getting in the car, out of the car, remember? And when she came back, we all thought she didn't come back with him, but actually he did get out the passenger side. Records show Letecia took Powers to the Colorado Springs airport. DIA, sorry, that was incorrect on my part. Clark says AT&T towers can back up this route was taken, same as the car. 10 minutes after the car was parked, Letecia is seen going alone to the Avis location earlier that morning. She searched cheap rental cars and rented a car for $36 a day. Gets a Kia Rio. She picks up Al and they leave the first car at the airport day. The Rio then is seen getting home. New map, Exhibit 10. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that after we do this. This is from the city, Tuesday, 28th, 2020, 7 p.m., 7 p.m. The Volkswagen, the first car, is where they are getting the data. So they believe Letecia picks up the car. Maps show travel from the Springs Airport to the Falcon area again. The cell phone records match her, the car. The records show messages to her daughter, Harley, Al, and a few web searches. Is it common people have their cell on them all the time? Clark said yes. Was this later used to search specific areas? Clark says yes. Says Letecia stopped in a parking lot for around 30 minutes near Woodman and McLaughlin Road. They searched dumpsters and video around here for a while. Says her phone was put in airplane mode in the Falcon area. I wonder if Barry learned that from Letecia. The cut ties with cell networks, only Wi-Fi connections would connect from that point on. 36 to 8:08, same day. They believe she went to Woodman. They no longer have cell records, only the car data. She stops for 10 minutes in a parking lot at Rangewood and Woodman, but nothing real found by detectives. Next map, 8:18 p.m. She is west on Woodman, 823 northbound on I-25. At 8:34 p.m., she gets Highway 105, which is in Monument. Map eastbound on Highway 105, then doubles back westbound. Still no cell data, but all car data. Next map, 846 to 857. They believe she passes Lake Woodmore Drive, then goes back and goes into the neighborhood. Did you find evidence there? No. 8:57 to 9:07 p.m. There's arrows going all over the place on this one. Explain. Defendant driving all over the neighborhood, eventually exiting the neighborhood after 15 minutes. Clear they are interfering. She is looking for a spot to drop the body. Let's stop real quick and see what's going on in chat. Kate wants to see the evidence. Yeah, me too. So then at 9:07 to 9:19 p.m., merges onto I-25 going north, goes on County Line Road, exits where it meets with 105, going northbound on 105, and the northbound point was captured at 9:19. That's where we had a lot of search crews with the snow sifting, if you remember. This is now Douglas County. Videos with MapQuest on all of these areas. But we'll go check out these little links. The new map, 9:19, 9:29 p.m. There is a red X on this map. Same corner where they were searching with snow sifters last year. Is that the area dark out? Pretty rural? Yes. Let me just see what this opens. I'm just curious. Yeah, see, okay, so that doesn't open pictures. That just actually opens back into Spencer's Twitter. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get the pictures of these people, and I'll do a video real quick of like no talking, but just the names and where everything was mapped out if you guys want to get a visual. Where did I leave off? Sit there and remember. Okay. Clark says, analyzing the timestamps, it took Letecia Stauch more time to get around the corner going north instead of south, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. So either she took 6 minutes around or stopped. New map, 9:19 to 9:47 p.m. shows car leaving Palmer Lake area, merging onto I-25, then exits onto Briargate. Her phone was on airplane mode for 2 hours, but pops back on at 9:51 at the Hilton Inn, then connects to the Starbucks at Briargate for an hour. She's still on airplane mode, but she's connected to Wi-Fi, so she's getting texts, emails, voicemails, etc. The DA asks, if you would have to manually connect to these connections. Clark says he can't prove she did an auto connect, but knows she did connect. Clark says she is talking with her daughter Harley during that hour at Starbucks. She was 17 at the time and lived in the house. Moving on to next map. No mention of what those messages are. You guys okay? Yeah, put a tracker. All right. More movement. 11 p.m. She goes down Garden of the Gods Road. Sorry, got lost. She's double backing a lot of times, but she ends up at Carefree and Powers at Massage Envy, where Harley was working at the time at 11 p.m. Clark says that Letecia was looking up info on Amber Alerts and Ring doorbells. You can, this woman, I'm honestly shocked that she's competent to stand up, to be honest with you guys sometimes, because she is definitely a few fries short of a Happy Meal. I think she might only have one fry in her Happy Meal. The last data point for the car is 11:30 at the Massage Envy. Stauch's phone then connects to a Holiday Inn Wi-Fi network. Clark says Harley's phone data says she was home, but travels to the Massage Envy to pick up Stauch. He drives a Jetta and they get home at around 1:23 a.m. New map. This is from a Nissan GPS tracker. Wednesday morning, Harley took Letecia to her car, but the sheriff took her car and phone later that day. Harley also had her car and phone taken. Nissan Altima. Now, they might not say the family member's name, but I know the family member's name, and that's Brenda. This is Brenda, the aunt. What was her last name? I can't think of her. Does anyone remember Brenda's name, the last name, the aunt that came and rented the Nissan Altima and part that drove back with her? Arvarado or Brenda Arvararo, something like that. So the Nissan Altima is rented by Brenda, who are all flying in from DIA. Says Letecia had access to that car. It's also the car I first spoke with her in when she was driving out of her neighborhood with her family in town. Spencer said, woof, that's a call for a first break for now. Also, laptop is about to die, so if it's not supercharged, I might end up on my phone after this. We'll be back at 10:40. Okay, I'm working off my phone now, so please excuse the extra typos coming your way. So far, we've seen photos of the suitcase under the bridge, a description of injuries the doctor believes Gannon had, and the location records from the day after he was reported missing. We are back in talking with Mr. Clark. Back to the maps. The same Nissan she was driving and the moving trucks are seen paused at the park when I interview Letecia Stauch. This map shows a CPS tracker that was on her car when she met me. Maps shows she then heads back to the location near Palmer Lake around 4 p.m. Friday. Same spot on the corner. GPS captures it again at 4:41. Going over that, all of the tracking data we are seeing now on these maps takes time to get a hold of. They didn't have this right away. We are looking at a new map, a side-by-side map of her trip up past Monument on Tuesday and then again Friday. Says they aren't exact because the data points are measured differently, but they show the same route and same area. Says there was a first look on Friday. Detectives would have had to look from Larkspur to Palmer Lakes, so it was just a drive by at that time. With more data they got, they were able to focus on the S-curve where they had the red X earlier. Here's where we are talking about. Clark says they found a board there eventually, and they are going to bring up with another witness. And we all know the board we're talking about. So here is the mark in Palmer, north of Monument. But guys, I have all of this information on my Letecia video, so you can actually see the area. So Monument, and this is where she kept coming around. And that's probably where they kept poor little Gannon frozen in the snow like a little popsicle. February 1st to the 6th. (2020) map. This is showing 2 trips across the country. I'll do a crude mock-up. Red was the cell data from a phone bought in Trinidad. Yellow is from the rental car. We got this, Mr. Matt Blanc. We're going to be all caught up. Isn't that weird, though? The red was the cell data from a phone bought in Trinidad. Did anybody hear about a phone bought in Trinidad? I didn't hear about a phone in Trinidad. So obviously the yellow line looks like it was going to North Carolina, and the red line looks like the line when she went to Florida. Clark says Harley is traveling with Letecia in the van. Wait, where's... So how come they didn't tell us about the van? I think he might have missed the van. Spencer, come on. So Clark says Harley is traveling with Letecia, now asking about stops along the route, surveillance video and credit card data, cell data, toll roads, and plate data also included. The DA detailing all of the evidence they have she made the trip. February 14th, 2020. Trinidad is an island. It's like, I'll show you in a second, Matt. By the Dominican, all that area, you know. Hi, Dee Dee. So, February 4th map. We are in Pensacola. She was at the Candlewood Suites Hotel. This map also includes the drop point of the suitcase and body at 4:15 a.m. So yes, it was in the middle of the night. Whoever said that earlier, you are correct. Hi, Glow with Como. If I missed anyone, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of watching chat on my phone and reading off my computer. So this map also includes the drop point, 4:15 a.m. It's 3 miles from their hotel. So you know what? Maybe the family was at the hotel and she snuck out of the 4:15 and did what she did. Because right about here, because here's Pace, Florida. I wish I could zoom into this map. Let me see if I can save it onto my desktop real fast, guys. This real quick. And I'm trying to work on the Summer Wells video too. I just want to see something. I'm going to show you guys this little bridge real quick. Yeah, that's my Summer Wells video I'm working on, guys. Yeah, there was I didn't know. I guess we'll hear more about it. Maybe she thought if she bought a cell phone, it would be her own. Because this is the bridge where she comes in. So you're leaving Pensacola, you're coming into Pace, Florida. And that is where that Wyndham Suites I spoke about. So he was found. So she was going north up towards Pace, and he was found on this side of the bridge, on the east side of the bridge, Pensacola, Pace, Florida, and that's the bridge they speak of. So let's get back into the story. Hang on, guys. Bear with me. Okay. And maps. We're looking at the Candlewood Suites receipt. Has Letecia's info and rewards membership. She actually used her she wanted to get a little discount. Has Letecia's info and rewards membership. They made the reservation on February 3rd, checked in the 4th. Says after their short stay, they moved on to North Carolina. Cross-examination from Mr. Tolini. Moving on to the next witness. Calling Patrick Youngkin to stand. He's a sergeant. He works with EPC Sheriff. Youngkin, it might be Youngkin, is a patrol decision supervisor. He was working the day Ganon was reported missing. He was first on the scene at the home. Call came in at 6:55 p.m. Youngkin says runaways are given a non-emergency priority level. Says they had several other calls at the time. Also, excuse me, he was third on the scene. 2 other deputies were there when he got there. They got permission and he started searching the house for Ganon. He spoke with Letecia in the attached garage and then again on a lower level of house. There's body-worn cameras we might be watching now. Yep, here's his camera. How much would you pay to see these cameras? I cannot wait until this comes out. We are going to have like a 24-hour Letecia Crazy Stauch marathon. Okay, let's see. Yep, his exhibit is published. We are going to see. Okay, well, he's making typos. Let's figure out. We are going to see what they say she reported when she said they reported him missing. the day, sorry. Scene is dark on their front door. Letecia starts talking. I took the covers he was laying in. The dog was out. Did he take his bike? No, I did earlier. Let me just see. He's got some typos going on. Talking. I took the covers he was laying in. Her daughter was out, probably maybe walking the dog, or I doubt the daughter was on, the dog was out separate. Did he take his bike? No, unless he did earlier. She on camera talking about the bike says someone saw him on his bike with a Nintendo Switch. Asks if you look around. Oh, sure. Yunkin is now searching rooms and closets with a light. Letecia is taking in a manner. Other conversations in the background you hear her say is stomach hurt and he was going to a friend's house to play video games. I was more free in these situations. Yunkin still searching closets and rooms. You'll hear Letecia every once in a while talking to other officers in the back. She says something about the carpet downstairs. Did I bring my thing? Might be in here. Yunkin and more closet searching. Yunkin, he's looking at the car. Did you have this car today? Yes. No, I didn't drive it today. She needed to get the ID out of it and got nervous. Yunkin opens the back of the car. I believe the suitcase is seen. He closes the back of the car. That part right there. He is in the garage, and this little boy is in that suitcase that he is looking at. Can you imagine? I mean, talk about, whew. He looks around the garage a bit more. This is inside, but you gotta expect Yunkin horrible now with all this evidence, but at the same time, he didn't know. Yunkin continues his search of the house, going down to what I believe is the basement. He's looking inside a storage room with the water heater and laundry baskets now. Tons of cardboard. Passes video. You're entering a room 1. Yunkin, Gannon Stauch's room. There's a bed. There's 2 beds and a blue nightstand. Gun behind one of the beds. He leaves the room. And Letecia brings him back in to talk about a box cutter. Says Gannon dropped a candle last night. She's trying to explain why there was a box cutter, and she says she covered up the candle with carpet, pulling it back to show. So I guess those wounds on his hands and those wounds that weren't so deep, I mean, did she really cut that boy with a box cutter? My gosh. Says Connor's mom came over. He hangs out with them all the time. A bunch of people came over. Yeah. They are in his room again. Says he's not super mature, forgets things. Yeah, I like Lauren, but I'm going to leave her to Barry more. I really like Spencer, Matt. Says he's not super mature, forgetting. Asks if he has a jacket with him. Presumably to see if he would be cold. It's January. I'm very fashion, Stauch says. This woman, when kids have all sorts of clothes, yeah. Asked if she has talked to the parents of his friends. I talked to them. Al says yes, he says no. Says they have only been here a year. They are just trying to make sure they try all the neighbors. Says I've been checking in on neighbors too. He took his switch with him, says in a picture of him taken by some woman online, according to Stauch. Where, when was this picture taken? I don't know. I have a lot of it on Facebook right now. Going over description of him now. Hair, eyes, brown, 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 very pale. What? You cannot make this up. Hair, eyes, brown, 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 very pale. Al says, got a weird text about bath salts. Says Ganon said he couldn't play Sonic at a friend's house. A weird text about bath salts. I wonder if they're talking about the baths to take a bath with, or like the bath salts that people get crazy on. Huh. We just heard Harley over the camera. Harley, did you get it? Yep. Think she was talking about the doorbell. Letecia says, we have had so many neighbors come through, joking about being asked about tattoos and earrings on Ganon. Joking about being asked. We've already talked to a few people at school. There is a game there tonight, so maybe he went to a basketball game. Suggest they call Al at in Oklahoma. She's talking a lot. Says as far as medical, dental, he will have all that stuff he takes him with him on base. They say they will give her a case number. Seems like it's wrapping up. Please leave the home and a video. Now Yukin's questions. Confirms the home is at the edge of the county. Asks if he saw anything under the bed in Ganon's room. He says he was looking for Ganon but didn't see him. Anything like blood obvious at this point? He said no. Any indication anything violent occurred? He said no. If you did see something, what would you have done? He said lock down the house and call for backup. No indication anything violent happened in the garage? He said no. Explaining why he was stopping in the storage room. He was listening for a hidden kid. Once again, Yukin says no obvious signs of violence. Cross-examination now from Mr. Tolini. Excuse me, Will Cook is up for Letecia Stauch. He's another one of her lawyers. And her last name with an ouch, which I believe is incorrect. He's clarifying that Letecia was mostly talking to a Deputy Parker with Sheriff. Your only real involvement was the body-worn camera, correct? Yes. He says he went back to help in the investigation 2 days later. Did you find a suitcase in the car? I didn't know if there was a suitcase in the vehicle. I did use my flashlight to see in the car. You didn't see anything suspicious? He said no. I'm going to read the rest of this a little bit on this page right here, guys, and I'm going to take a 1-minute break because I have to use the little girl's room. They are confirming he did not see the suitcase in the car on redirect from the DA. Video was very dark, so not clear if it was there or not. I could see a rectangular box back there. When he came back 2 days later, he found a red liquid substance from the basement to the garage. Says the liquid was dried. Did not know what it was then. Next witness, Sheriff Lieutenant John Sarkison. And we all have seen him. We know who he is. I do. So, next witness, EPC Sheriff Lieutenant John Sarkison. He ran command for search efforts for Ganon. So to find the rest of this thread. And guys, let me go potty real quick. I'm going to take a 2-minute break, and then I'm going to come back and find the other part of the thread. I will be right back. Let's take a little recess. If you guys have to get a drink or go to the bathroom or whatever, I will be back. All right, let's see if we can find this second part. Hey, Megan. All right, let's go ahead and share screen. There are so many things going on. If this is the one, I think. All right, there we go. He spoke. 1 second. I don't know if I can. Hang on 1 sec. Hey, Lizzie Two Shoes. Yeah, I just saw this part. One sec, guys. Spencer, where are you? Hello. Okay, so let's see here. 35 minutes ago, 36. Let me see if I'm on this thread. Here we go, guys. One. Okay. Are we ready for part 2, guys? Are we ready? Ooh. That's my overseas internet boyfriend. Hi, Holly Berry. Hi, Lizzie Two Shoes. Let me say hi to some people. Holly Berry, Megan, Joan, and Smith. Hi, Amy. Okay. So we'll just go back and start where he asked, did you find a suitcase in the car? I did not know if there was a suitcase in the vehicle. I did use my flashlight to see in the car. You didn't see anything suspicious? No. They are confirming he did not see the suitcase in the car on redirect from the DA. Video was very dark, so not clear it was there or not. I could see a rectangular box back there. When he came back 2 days later, he found the red liquid substance from the basement to the garage. Says the liquid was dry. Did not know what it was then. Next witness, Lieutenant John Sarkison. He ran command for search efforts for Ganon. He saw how many resources he used, including planes, horses, Razor 4x4, drones, dogs, snow poles, and parks and wildlife submarine device. I tweeted about that yellow device back in the day. Explaining the use of each, pretty self-explanatory. He says they started the search near the home, then branched out from there, then to Fountain Creek, and finally Palmer Lake and Park Road. Sheriff says he didn't get the context for each, didn't get the context for each search move. He was just there for coordinating resources. Says he was told there was car that showed Letecia in Douglas County and that it was odd it was up there in a remote area. Talking about different spots where they set up command posts. He's looking at exhibits 26 through 28 now. The first is a photograph of the S-curve we were talking about. The second is a plywood board. Third is what was on the board. Photos are up on the monitor now so we can see. The first photo is that S-curve we talked about. Looks like the photo added, but snowy. Lots of parked cars. Let's check out the photo. The road he speaks of, but now it's snowy. It was snowy then, excuse me. Lots of parked cars. Sarkison's snow burn for wall next to the road is about 7 feet tall. A dog alerted them to the area at that time. He checked the barbed wire fence, says they found ant fibers there, but he started to go from there. He says he found the board. Didn't appear to be moved at all because the snow wasn't broken. Here's the photo. Kind of tough to see, but it looks like a board under a bunch of tree branches. The image is mostly branches, but you can make out a board. He says he only was looking for anything out of the usual. Third photo. This is a photo of the board with a stain on it. There's an artificial red circle around the middle of the photo, highlighting a dark stain, which he says is blood. Search dogs, yeah, and we didn't even know that with the search dogs that found that plywood board out there either, advocate. Mr. Tolini now for cross-examination. Was that the first made an alert? Not sure. Tolini. Dogs? Not sure, depends on the day. Tolini. If you report the board was found the 15th and they had dogs in the area weeks, I'd have to look at that data. Sergeant says he lifted the edge of the board, said, "Oh, that looks like blood," set it down again. Ideally, you wouldn't have moved it before taking a photo. He said, "True." Sergeant says the board was 12-2.5 feet, big enough to pull a body out. No idea, but not long enough to hold on each side with a body on top, I guess. Also not trying to make these guys sound standoffish. They are just professionals, sounding type that just makes them sound short. Tolini. Besides blood, any ties to the Stauch home? Sergeant, not that I'm aware of, confirms the sheriff was the investigation, not the FBI, and back to redirect. It snowed several times, right? He said yes. We're on break till 1:20. All right, so let's get back into this thread. He says we're trying to get back into He says trying to get her back into WebEx will not be a quick option. I appreciate that you think we can finish, but no harm in pushing tomorrow. Mr. Tolini says Letecia Stauch intends to waive the preliminary for her escape case. Yes, bullets, Amy. A whole bullet. So I guess she's going to waive the prelim for the time that she tried to escape out of the transport van. Anyway, the judge says we will need to be back tomorrow anyway. You rock. I know a lot of people having been waiting for this day. Let's see, we've got more. Now we got to find the feed for this one. Are they on lunch now, Matt? What time did they say? This has to be over by now. 1:20. Yeah, so 1:20. So guys, they are not back until 3:20. So that gives us 30 minutes. Oh, we're coming. Hi, Jackie, good citizen Green. Yeah, we're going to come back, guys. But let's look at something real quick. I actually saw something that was interesting. Matt, it said that they come back at 20 Mountain Time, so that would be 3:20. Oh, what? Go ahead and open up Lauren too. We'll have to go with both of them. I know Matt loves. If you missed anything. So Spencer just says here that a lot after going through the 32 pages of the arrest affidavit, full breakdown of what we learned. It is important to know before they found. Oh, okay, so that was before they found Gannon. Okay, so let's see what this says real quick. So it says the report is filed by the sheriff department and broken up into different segments to help keep the timeline in order. I'll be doing the same to keep the story on track. We start with the fact that in those tips to investigators, someone submitted a ransom note for Gannon, asking for Bitcoin. They were not able to track down the person who submitted the note, but that is absolutely disgusting. The initial report, a lot of this is the same as we've said, but Letecia Stauch makes a call 27 saying Gannon is missing at 6:55 p.m. Says he went to play at a friend's house. She can't remember who or where, so she looked for him, which later detectives will say she did not. The murder of Gannon, believe he was murdered in his basement room. Believed it happened on 127. Investigators find blood all through the house, on his mattress, under the carpet, in the garage, evidence that she loaded Gannon's body into her car in the garage and took him to Palmer Lake, where she dumped his body. My gosh, this woman. Amy Ashley, and that was before she shot him. I was just asking if she missed twice shooting him since I was found. I don't know. There was one in his jaw. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm even saying that. And there were 2 bullet projectiles in the pillow. So I don't know if that was one from the jaw to the pillow and then she missed another time, or I guess we'll have to find out in the actual trial. Oh, thank you, Lizzie Two Shoes. Thank you for coming. So, important to note, this report does not include anything about his body behind found in Florida, so that is still unknown. Because at this point, Gannon had not been found in Florida yet. So, believe TS got dropped. So, believe Letecia Stauch dropped Gannon's body in Palmer Lake on the night of 128. A day after he murdered. Investigators found a particle board with Gannon's blood in that area, along with LS's car, GPS, Letecia, that put them in that area. You'll remember we were out there for days. So here is the actual picture with the snow. Can we open it? Yes, we can. Can't really get too much bigger. So he is pointing the area to where the particle board was found. I could probably save it and we can zoom in on it. We'll go look at that in a second. Investigators believe that Harley Hunt went to go buy her mother cleaning supplies to help clean up. No reference to any criminal charges against her, and this believes she was at work during murder. Gannon Stauch's father, Eugene, was out of town during this, which we know. This amount of blood are found on the back of Letecia Stauch's actual car, although it had been cleaned. Car with Gannon's it is a Volkswagen Tiguan. Here's a Google picture of what the car model looks like, but we know it's black. I'm reading your comment, Matt. Okay, well, we're going to have to wait and see. We've got 25 minutes. So we've got the interview with the detectives. I'm just trying to see if there's anything new through here that she takes all of her statements with a very, very large grain of salt. Interview was at 10 a.m. She got there 2 hours late, brought in notes to reference not normal. Letecia's not normal. Excuse me, Dr. Stauch. Told investigators she had been essayed at gunpoint by someone named Eduardo. Says she was hit on the head, be blacked out, no injuries to her head seen. Eduardo demanded a suitcase and a cardboard box. Guys, I'm sorry, but I mean, how is this woman competent to stand trial? She is a loony bird. So somebody actually hit her with a gun, wanted to do a little whatever with her, and then he wanted a piece of plywood and a suitcase. You can't make that. She said it was strange that she didn't call 911 right after the alleged attack. Refused an essay exam for evidence, refused to ID Eduardo. Told investigators Gannon knocked over a candle. They drove around until they found it. Found a construction worker working on a home, asked him to repair the carpet, then gave him the garage code. That's Eduardo said. He was Hispanic. Important later. So she drove around through the development. Hey, can you come over and wax on my carpet? How come you just sit and get an iron in a brown paper bag? Yeah, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right. She hit Ganon with that gun. But it sounds to me like she was chasing him around with a box cutter, like on his hands and stuff. Because he said this, they weren't deep, but they were like blades. And I can't even imagine what poor Ganon went through at the end of his time with his alleged stepmother. Investigators found evidence that she was sending messages from her phone during the entire time she claimed she was being attacked. I don't know. I mean, maybe Gabe was trying to get away from her and the candle got spilt over. And she claims that she used the box cutter to cut the wax out of the carpet. And that's why the box cutter was in his room. Yeah, she tortured him a little bit. Towards the end of the interview, said she wanted to leave. Detectives took her phone, wanted to get warrant for DNA collection. Letecia starts stuffing tissues in her pants and claiming to have chest pains and shortness of breath. The medical team was called. Why is she stuffing tissues in her pants? Why in God's... See, this is definitely stuff that's new to me. I know the basic outline, but like not some of these. Report notes that her statements to her friends, husband, and me and fellow reporters were all contradictions. Taken to the hospital after interview, would not talk to the personnel on the way there, then had a miraculous recovery when they arrived. Still no assay test kit taken. Letecia is checked out, found to be perfect, then run from the hospital before they could issue a warrant for detention. The search of the Stauch home on 128, blood found in Gannon's room. Looks like someone attempted the walls. Blood splatter analysis is consistent with gunshot, blunt force, or stabbing. That's likely where the charges are coming from, and shows it might just be one. Under an electrical socket matches Gannon's DNA. Report from the crime lab. We saw this truck at the Stauch's home. Several. Photo is from Cat Silver TV. Detectives get DNA from his toothbrush and retainer. Aww. Amy says, I'm going to need Botox after the face I'm making. It's just stuck this way. Yeah, I'm going to have to probably go to the dentist and have my jaw. DNA evidence helps them place where everyone was on the day of the murder. Cell records from LS and Harley collected. Letecia has promised to her employer, husband, friends, daughter, and the babysitter. I will not include each and every text message or lie. The statement speaks to volumes of lies detectives believe Letecia told. Consider to keep track of the number of lies while I went through this report, gave up. In reference to the candle story, investigators did not find anything burned. No smell of smoke. Actually smelled like coconut downstairs. No GPS data from Letecia's phone, meaning connected her phone from cell network and turned it off. Notes on phone reference unhappiness in her relationship and shed some light in potential household instabilities. That the first reference in this report of a potential motive, but won't be the last. Internet usage from 125 to 129. What did Lizzie say? I think LS was trying to wipe away any fake fluids from Eduardo. She's batshit crazy. Oh, yes, she is. This is the closest thing in the report to seeing what Letecia was actually thinking during the time of Gannon's murder. The majority of the argument set up for a motive is in this chapter. She looked for a job out of state, like Los Angeles or Orlando or Pensacola Beach. Now that's ironic, right? So who does Pensacola? She went there and took Gannon there. I have been digging so deep in her family tree, guys. I am so close to Pensacola, but I got to Jacksonville and Tallahassee. There's somebody there that she knows. She did not just pick Pensacola out of a random draw of a hat. She looked for apartments. Google searched history ads. She was not happy as a stepmother, and she was not happy. Search history alone does not provide motive for Gannon's murder, but does shed light on her inquisitive thoughts of her position within the family, characterizing evidence that Letecia types poorly, adding a key instead of a space from double tapping the spacebar. Search includes find real military singles, I'm overdoing all the work for my stepkids, and their mom doesn't help. Mom's for stepmom. Can Nintendo find my Switch? Asking for our son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. Let's go ahead and look at these Google searches. I'm going to have to do this one, guys, so we can zoom in. Got about 15 minutes. This woman is absolutely crazy. They say they didn't mention her parents. They said that Al is there. This woman, I mean, you really. Google search, find military single men. I'm not going to read the parenting should be for people, not one. I'm overdoing all the work with kids, and their mom doesn't help. Mom's advice from stepmom. If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you are shitty. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not trying to laugh, but you can't. Did she really search that? If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you are shitty. I can't make it up. Third line right there. My husband does nothing for her kids. I wonder if my husband's sending me a card since I raise her kids. I honestly think that it sounds she's so jealous of Landon that she my God, this she is batshit crazy. This video won't be monetized anyways, guys, because we're talking about horrible things against children, and YouTube is not like that. She looks like she punched that in twice, because wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's card since I raise her kids. Have you ever thought about sending, like, let's say one of you guys are raising a stepchild or something in your past or whatever. Have you ever thought that maybe your ex-husband, your husband's ex-wife is going to send you a Valentine's card because you're raising their kid? Kate says she's looking for memes. Okay. One day some people will wish they treated you differently. Why should my husband choose me over family? Yeah, he's going to choose you over his kids. Find a guy who wants me to take care of his kids and get paid. Where am I? It's crappy. Some parents don't care for their kids or buy them presents. Parents are those who put their kids before their nails. And then she searched that one again. My son burned the carpet. How do I fix it? Will a humidifier help if exposed to smoke? Smoke affects. Will humidify? Smoke from fire affects. Will humidify? Colorado law for kids staying at home. School is out. Is it okay for my kid to stay home alone? Son is sick, have to go to work. I mean, son's sick. Can he stay home? Suede repair. I can't even read that word. IDT for sofa. Oh, it's probably suede repair. El Paso Sheriff's Office number. What is the process of our child? Police steps for our runaway child. Police steps for our missing child. Today's flight. OK2COS. Can Nintendo find my Switch? Car Net Volkswagen. Are they asking for a toothbrush but said nothing wrong? Lizzie, Merriam-Webster needs to change dictionary definition of delusional to one Letecia Stauch. You can't make that up. I mean, this lady, you have completely lost your mind. All right, so let's go back in here. How much time do we have? A little bit. Okay, so then here goes the deleted searches. My husband uses me to babysit his kids. Make my husband want me more. Find a guy without kids. Hang on guys. 1 second. I'll be right back. Gotta take care of All right, guys, we came over. Let's see where we were. Okay. Her conscience of guilt. During the first 24 to 48 hours of Gannon's disappearance, she rented a car, turned off her phone, washed her original car before the interview, tried to leave a more interview, did not help. Look, yeah, we know all this is, we went back to the beginning of this one. Told Mr. Stauch detectives were hiding. GPS tracked her in new rented car 131 to left. My interview with her to Palmer Lake, where she went back when it was light out to make sure that there was no visible evidence. Believe she hid him there in the dark. Says the conflicting stories are varied, but two main stories emerge. Gannon went to play at his house. Letecia was essayed at gunpoint, and Ganon was abducted by Eduardo. What advocate? No, these don't have time. This was on January 27th. He went to play with his friends. But then on January 29th is when she said that Eduardo came, abducted Gannon, took a box, took the suitcase, took the plywood, and did the essay. 2:13, Letecia told Gannon had burned himself on a candle. Wound bubbled. Gannon peeled off. That's why there was blood everywhere. Now. Oh, yeah. I'll go ahead. The Google advocate, I'll post that on my community post when we're done so you guys can grab it. I don't know what, Kate, which one you're asking for. The Google searches, yes, they have date and times. I'll put that on my community post when this is over, so you can grab it. Yeah, they all had date and times. So 2:14, she told Dad she was wait a second. Story she told continued. On 2:13, Letecia told Dad Gannon burned himself, it bubbled, and she peeled off the burn, and that's why there was blood. We all know that when you have a burn and you peel off the burn, what happens? It doesn't bleed. It gets what? What happens? It gets pussy. I hate to use the word. It's disgusting, but it doesn't burn. It oozes. Yeah, advocate, I will post that. As soon as we're done with this, I'll post the pictures, whatever you want off this. Oh, we got a picture. I've never seen this picture. So this gets a little crazy. So on 2:14, Letecia told Dad she was SA'd by Quinn Quincy Brown, a man on our KKTV Most Wanted page. Yes, I couldn't imagine burn. I've even had a muffler burn from a motorcycle, and it never bled. Go away, chickens, or you're gonna have them for dinner. Ignore them, guys. Go away, or you're gonna bring you to KFC and drop you off at the back door. Okay. To be clear, there is no evidence that Quincy Brown is involved in this case at all. Little Dad Brown took in and claimed she knew who he was because an ID card fell out of his pocket. Brown followed her to Petco and was laying in the middle of the road in front of her car. When she stopped, he jumped in her car and made her take him home, where she says he essayed. Letecia said Ganon was riding his bike near Palmer Lake on 127, and he fell and he hit his head and was taken by Brown, made up a driver named Terrence. Investigators point out that she brought that area up on her own, then tried to explain it away. Told Dad searches in that area would be fruitful. We know it was very useful. Her car data GS, Ganon's blood found there. On 215, she gives Dad more conflicting stories, saying the bike crash was a lie, but she said it because it was what she thought he wanted to hear. Claims the blood in Ganon's room is both his and hers. Says the abductor violated them both with an object. I'm not going to even repeat the S word. You guys know what I'm talking about. Quincy Aguardo be like, what? Okay. The fake polygraph test on 2/18, Letecia called. Fake polygraph test. Oh, so this is when you got the results, and you guys remember that, the fake polygraph test? Hey, Misnomer. Do you guys remember the fake polygraph test that she paid for? Isn't Gen B, isn't this around the time that Al starts, yes, side-eyeing her? This is about the time where the stories are just not adding up. Okay, so let me see if I can just open this up real quick, because I want to be able to read it without putting on bifocals. So it's a home fake polygraph test, and it says, fake polygraph graph test. You choose the questions, locations, and the results. We send the fake polygraph report from a real company, just 45 pounds or 60 USD. For her test results that she paid for, her report was blocked. We got 3 minutes, guys. I am watching the time. You can't make this up. You know what? I am honestly debating going out to Colorado for the trial, to be honest with you guys. So if anybody is between Maine and Colorado, I might even have to rent a bus. And we'll just go hang out at the courthouse and watch it. I love Misnomer. Okay, so for her test results that she paid for, her report was blocked by management based on the content of her questions. And it's confidential. Let me try this. Hang on. You can't make this up. But let me go back and check on... let me get on Twitter real fast. Let me close some of these tabs real quick. There's Lauren. Where's Spencer? There's thread report. And there's Spencer. All right, let me refresh. You know what, Matt? You want to have a link up here so you can talk in my ear and let me know when it starts? I would appreciate it. I'm going to drop you a link, Matt. I don't know what I would do with it, not do without Matt. My boyfriend. And girls, his accent. Oh my goodness, girls. I told him when he does the Susan Morphew that he needs to read, because the girls will be like, oh, I love your accent. Did I just close that one thing? You got to be kidding me. Let me find it real fast. I sent it. I sent it. I dropped him the link. Is he back? Here we go, guys. Yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks. Kate, I love talking to people. Tomorrow I'm gonna go on cam now. I just kind of didn't where's Matt? Did you get the link, Matt? Here he comes. Wait. Here he is. So handsome.
Am I not just in the studio? I just put...
Hang on, let me get him back in. I might have to switch to my headphones because I can't hear Matt. One sec, guys. Matt, you there?
Yeah, I'm happy in the studio. I thought I was just in the studio.
Okay, I can hear you now. You guys can hear me okay still?
I'm just in the studio.
All right.
Only you can hear me.
Oh no, you're on. You're in the live now. You girls hear that accent?
Yeah, I'll just be in the studio because otherwise I'll miss the tweets.
No, you're not in this. You're in the show. You can stay here. Okay. So just give me a heads up when it.
I can't multitask like that.
Go ahead. Yeah, I just want you to just tell me when either Lauren, when you see Lauren starting to tweet again, please. Okay. Okay. Did he leave? He left. What are we gonna do with him? Shy ladies. Okay. Let's get back to. I'm actually watching Spencer's page and let me find that. Matt, come back, please. Come back. All right. Let's get back to where we were real quick. Let me save this to my desktop so I can put this on my community link for Kate. Hi, Sky Blue. Hi, everyone I missed. All right. So we get past the interview. That's the attempted, supposed, whatever. We know she brought up the area on her own with polygraphs. What do you do now? Just delete it and go on about life and keep the money? Fake polygraph. Yes, we do indeed. Investigators call fake polygraph. They help with the investigation. Fake polygraph. fake polygraphs. All right. And it doesn't matter if Matt, you're not in the studio, hun. You're not even here. Can you come back in the studio? Hi, Brandy Bama. Well, welcome. Okay. So let's see what. So, do you intend to answer these questions regarding your stepson truthfully? Yes. Is your birthday August 4th, 1983? Yes. Did you participate in any way in causing harm to your stepson? No. Did your stepson return with you to your home? Yes. Did you participate in any way in causing the death of your stepson? No. There's a final conclusion wraps up their argument for the reason Letecia should be arrested. Personal final thoughts. The amount of lies and double backs reported is incredible. It's sad to hear more about Gannon's death, but sounds like there is a mountain of evidence. And guys, I'm going to do a video tonight, and I'm not going to really talk on it. Put the timeline back in so we could see like who's talking and who the people are and what they look like and things like that. And I'll attach these into there too. And I will put that page Kate on my community. Let's see if they start that. You cannot make it up. Let's see what else is going on. Lauren about the witnesses. That's when they came back from the break. Let's see if she's got any different insight on it. All right. The S curve, we know. Okay. I'm pretty sure I follow her on Twitter, do I? All right, let's see what's going on. Let me refresh Lauren. Hi, Darlene. I have been waiting for this forever. I was not going to miss this. I work early today. My boss is like, what's going on? I'm like, got things going on today. 1 hour out. Matt, can you please come backstage and ear and let me know? Yeah. Jen B says, I hope she spends the rest of her life in prison. You are not kidding. I really hope they make her stay tomorrow, though. Like in the backstage. Matt, the ladies really want to hear your accent, so why don't you just come talk for a while? Don't be shy. They can't bite you through the computer, Matt. Let me read Spencer.
I've got two of you on, trying to figure out how to mute you. One of you.
What do you mean you got? You have to just mute. Listen to me through StreamYards and mute it.
Yeah, I've muted YouTube. Yeah, I don't need to chat because you're reading out the tweets at you, so it's not going to work with two voices chatting away. So I just wanted you to carry on.
You're fine.
Spencer's back. They're both back covering it now, so court's back in session. So I'll sign
Yeah,
off.
I'm updating. I'm looking forward. Yeah, you can stay up here. Let me see what's going on.
You've got to refresh on Twitter, I think. So
I just refreshed. Back
Spencer
in court.
Watson, yeah, back in the courtroom 5 minutes ago. Okay,
I like Spencer.
Yeah, you carry on with your
Listen,
tweets.
we're not going to fight we're like. Listen, it's if I read my tweets too fast, then yeah, I see Lauren's back in court faster. If I read them too fast, then I'm gonna be like all caught up in a second. Yeah,
Well, no,
Kate,
because
I
you can
love his
discuss
voice
it.
too.
You
Hi,
it. You
Jojo
carry on.
Maxine.
Your format's good
Matt,
as it is, so
if you don't listen, you be a
it.
good boy. Matt. You be a good boy, or I'm gonna fly to the UK and I'm gonna put you in the headlock and do very naughty things to you.
Yeah, you won't even find me.
And he's cute too, Kate. He's good looking too.
You won't even find
Okay.
me. Yeah, you're
50.
not very good at finding people, are you?
Oh, thank you, Miss Nomer. Shipping points listening. Okay, back in court. Lauren. Continuation of proof, evident, presumption, great hearing, fifth witness, Sergeant Rosario Hubble with the Sheriff's Office. He has worked with EPSO for 14 years. He works with the Major Crime Unit and overviews the case as it unfolds. Okay, well, that's all we got from her right now. Why does it keep saying follow? That's all we got. Let me go to let me get red. Where's Spencer? So Matt, what do you think about this? Did you follow the Gannon? You followed the Gannon case, right? Oh, he left? Ugh. I think I embarrassed him. Sky blue. Hi, Sue Carter. Hi, Emma. Hi, Magic. Hello. I'm waiting, Matt. I'm waiting. We finished those other pages too with the pictures, the ploy test. You can't make that up. See, Matt wanted. Thank you for the shout out. I'm loving your channel. I said, oh, thanks, Emma. Yep. So we're still. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I missed it before that one where it says Sergeant Hubble became involved in the case on January 28th when Fountain PD asked if they needed assistance. He confirms this missing person report evolved into a homicide investigation. Letecia Stauch's phone had photos of Gannon in bed, Exhibit 2939. Now, Spencer, what am I going to do with him? Uh, 46 minutes. Let me see what this thread is. Okay. We're back for Letecia. Let's go with him. Preliminary hearing for the murder of Gannon. Next witness coming up, Sergeant Hubble with the sheriff takes a stand. Been with the office 14 years. He works with major crimes, which this counts as. He monitors all detectives. He's not out there himself, but he's collecting their data and sorting it. He's an overview. He's an overview of the case as it unfolds. Here's an overview. Okay, I got you, Spencer. They are going over the specifics of when major crimes became involved, from a missing person case to something more. He says he's the one who sent more deputies out to follow up. Hubble says that's eventually evolved into a homicide case, we know. Says they had access to Letecia Stauch's phone, and there were photos of Gannon taken in his bed in his bedroom. Not sure where they are going with it, but they are submitting the evidence. Exhibit 29, photo in Gannon's room in the morning of the 27th. Sheets are off the bed. Morning light is peeking through. I guess maybe this is where he stopped for a minute. Let's see. Just check here, make sure. Exhibit 29, photo in Gannon's room in the morning 27th. Sheets are off the bed. Morning light coming through. Exhibit Gannon asleep in bed. The blanket he is on is one of the blankets we saw earlier from the suitcase. Gannon blue PJs. Bedding on the base seems to be the blue shark bedding we also saw. A little hard to tell, but the blanket is 100% the blue and red one. Based on this photo, is Gannon alive in the photo at 8:15 this morning, the 27th of January, 2020? Yes, he looks alive. No major wounds that I can see. All right. Fresh. I like the one. That's why I kind of waited, because it was kind of like we could have just kind of went through it. So I was hoping while we were going through that, they would have been already, to this. Exhibit another shot of Gannon sleeping. This is closer, and we can see his head on his pillow. The pattern on the pillow is consistent with the photos from the suitcase. It's apparent we are looking at the same bedding as from the suitcase. Guys, let's take a 5-minute break. Hello, Moonlight View. Let's take a 5-minute break. I'm going to take my little dog out and go put her outside to spend time with her buddies. And then by then we will have a little more to catch up on. Sound good? We can take a potty break, a drink break. Okay, guys, give me 5 minutes. Come on, little girl. All right. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys? Okay. Guess it's going to be the headphones. All right. Let's go back into Spencer. I love Coca-Cola. I don't drink a lot of soda, I'll tell you what. I do like Coca-Cola. I like the bubbles. You know, sometimes you just need like the bubbles instead of like water and things that don't. Ooh. Okay, we're not even going to go there right now. Back out of there. Back out of there. Okay, Exhibit 31. Another shot of Ganon sleeping. This is closer. We can see his head on his pillow. The pattern on the pillow is consistent with the photo from the suitcase. It's apparent we are looking at the same bedding found in the suitcase. Exhibit 32. Another photo of Gannon in bed from the showing that red and blue blanket. Not sure why she was taking these photos, but sure is making this easy to compare the photos from Florida and in Colorado, which again is grisly, but seemingly damning. So the bedding you got from Florida are consistent with these photos? He says yes. The D says, do you recall in the body camera footage the bedding was there? He says it was not. So the bedding was changed? He says, here so. We are right now. Come on, Spencer. Dana Mayer, it was nice. The judge allowed stationary camera in Colorado for Mark red wine trial. Our dear Dylan. Sky blue. The day feels like the day we were told she killed him to me. I am raging with sorrow. I agree with you, Sky. I just like, why? On February 3rd, the sheriff were looking for blood evidence. They went to the house looking for Gannon's blood. Up until that time, they collected a pair of women's Nike shoes, but that's all. I do too. I like her a lot. I wish it would just update by itself, but that's okay. Why does it keep asking me to follow her? Yeah, I'm with Spencer. I think from the Susan Morphy that she's been dealing with. Hubble is now verbally describing that Stauch detail. We saw this on the body camera, says Gannon's room is indeed in the basement. Let's give him a couple of minutes and read a few more instead of just, one at a time. Dana Meyer, agree losing these children is horrible. Our little man Gannon It breaks us all in certain ways. Well, let me just say this real fast, guys, while we're waiting for Spencer. Put a few updates out. I called Pipeco irrigation system this morning in Fruitland, Idaho. I spoke to Leslie. I've been doing a lot of research on the pipelines and figuring out why Huff would say, I'm talking about Michael Vaughn real quick, guys. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that out and not make like a complete video on what she said. But she was telling me that the air systems, the reason why Huff was going to drain them is because some of them are 4 feet deep. And the water's been real dirty this year. She said, like, you can't even see. She said that the irrigation system runs off some of them into the Snake River. I then asked her if they had like a gate or a screen to the Snake River to catch debris and stuff. And she said that some of them do and some of them don't. And some of them that drain into the Snake River just keeps moving down the river. There's no stopping what was actually in an irrigation field, if that makes sense to you guys. So yeah, those irrigation ditches are 4 to 5 feet deep. I had no idea they were that deep. No idea. But Leslie was very nice to explain it to me. Just going to look in here real fast to see what's... Yes, Kate. That's why I'm searching that area on the Oregon. I also asked Leslie about the dams, if it would catch something at the dams, and she couldn't answer me on. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if we got new stuff going on. Yes, we do. Hubble is now verbally describing this. Hang on, guys. Let me close this. Something's talking to me. Let me hit the site. Okay. Hubble now verbally describing the Stauch home in detail, which we just read. They brought out the Metro Crime Lab, shared resources between PDPIO and EPC Sheriff. Those are our crime experts. They brought out tools, Blue Star, to do a presumptive test for blood, and low light, Blue Star is sprayed when it hits blood right away. It also picks iron or rust or cleaning agents. That's a slow illumination. If it lights up right off the bat, blood is likely the culprit. Also helps them identify areas that have been cleaned. My gosh. All of her stories, like, I mean, I bet you the DA detectives and they were probably looking at her like, this woman is just a complete nutter butter. Like, you cannot make this up. Last one. Hubble says he asked his team to photograph their work on this. Sounds like we're about to see the Blue Star test pictures. Hubble compares the glow to glow-in-the-dark stars in his bedroom. Glow strength is indicated to how much blood is there. We are now looking at Exhibit 33. His bed has been removed. and there's yellow tape on the walls bordering an area. Those areas inside the yellow are blood splatter marks. There's also markers next to the marks to help investigators ID the spots. Hello, human animal. Welcome in. Says there was also a stain in the corner which went through all the layers of down to the hard floor. Carpet is peeled back. The blood was tested from that stain and came back positive as Gannon's. Where was Gannon's sister? Not Harley, but the little one. I don't even know if I want to know. Says there were also a corner which went through the layers of the carpet to the floor. Yep, that's the last one. And the blood tested as Gannon's. I can't. You're gonna have to send that to me. I can't. You're gonna have to come back and send that on private chat. I can't open that up on my phone. We're gonna stay with Spencer, Matt. I like Spencer. Hubble now points out the corner of the room with the blood stain. I can visibly see a red spot from my seat in the courtroom. There's more than 10 stain markers on the wall in that yellow outline. Gonna have to come back, Matt, and drop it in if you want me to have that link. I hear you, Holly Berry. It's horrible what she did. I just don't understand it. Look at those little heart numbers just moving up and up and up and up. People are watching this like, we've waited a long time for this. It's about time. And she's just too much of a coward to even be there. Hubble tells the DA it was clear the carpet had been cleaned, but that the padding under it and the cement under was not. Says the carpet was matted and crusty. Carpet was stiff to the touch. Asked my guys to look into it, and we peeled it back. It was crusty and matted. Ugh. I'm trying to watch chat, guys. Hi, human animal. Dana Meyer, we knew it was going to be bad, but just hearing it makes... Yeah, me too. I honestly think that first part was just like for a second I was having like a serious hot flash. I was like, don't cry. Don't cry. Nose be all ruddy. I'll probably be sitting my own snots. Ugh. Yeah. I think she was doing something with like that whole box cutter thing. I guess we're gonna have to find out I don't even know if I want to really net breaking. This is a rough one. So guys, here we go. He's warning us. Exhibit 34. A close-up of the mattress corner. While they were taking it out of the room, there is a large blood stain, light to orange colored, tested for blood, positive for blood. DNA was tested, matched again, and that was Exhibit 34. Well, from the first part, Jen, I don't know if you missed it, but he was shot in his jaw with a gun. The back of his head was bashed, and he had defensive wounds on his arms and his hands. That what I'm gathering is I think that might have been, I'm speculating, the box cutter. Because they haven't mentioned the knife yet. They've mentioned the gun, back of his head being bruised, and defensive wounds on his hands and arms. Ignore my dogs, guys. I live on a farm almost. And we are still... Come on, Spencer, type a little faster. I'm only kidding. Type a little faster, Spencer. Do you have fancy handwriting, Juju, or did my eyesight just go on me? Just beginning part 2, you little over an hour behind doing this. Oh, yes, Juju, this was going to be done. I left work early today. I was like, there is no way that I am going to miss any detail of this. Those little numbers are moving like slot machines. The likes and the shares and... Okay, so then says there is blood on the electrical outlet as well as in his room. Says yes, blood, yes, Gannon's blood. Okay, because I thought my eyes just went bad. I was like, wait a second. Do I need stronger readers? Because... Yeah, Juju, in the beginning of it, it tells you the wounds on Gannon. He was, she shot him in his jaw. I just, I can't with that woman. Why didn't you just, like, go back to North Carolina and find yourself a nice Lumbee husband? But you guys know that Gannon's mom is Lumbee Inmate. She is. That they met on the softball. They played softball together. I've actually had her Uncle Ernie Facebook me and try to threaten me or something. I'm like, okay, Ernie. Let's see where we're at. The DA asked Hubble, did you notice a pattern of blood throughout the house? Hubble says they started in the garage, went to the laundry room, hits led to the hallway, then living room, followed downstairs, more hits, past basement, family room, through the storage room to Gannon's room. Says the trail was complete and solid all the way through the house. Says he can see a full trail with blue star from his bedroom to the garage. Yeah, Landon's a good mom. The way that she was looking at Letecia in that first court appearance, telling you if looks could kill, Letecia would have killed over in that chair. Hey, CJ. You could probably rewind, CJ, and put it on fast and catch up. We're waiting on Spencer. Spencer's doing a great job. Okay, Exhibit 35. A shot of the garage, steps up into the house. There's a little rug at the base of the 2 steps. The DA is asking about woodworking. We know Al does a bit of carpentry on the side. Says there was a lot of wood in the garage. How do you zoom? Let me see if I can zoom in. Hang on one second. Tell me if you guys can read that. Good? I'm zoomed in. We're on 300%. All right, so let's see where we are. I just hope I can find where we go from here because it's so big. Yeah, we have to refresh every time to get a new. Exhibit 35 says there was a lot of wood, so that was the last one. Exhibit 35. Yeah, the Lumbee Indians. It's a huge tribe in North Carolina. I hope it stays big though when I zoom it, perfect. All right, Exhibit 36. The first clear blue star reaction we can clearly see on that little rug at the bottom of the stairs. It looks a lot like a bioluminescence at sea. Imagine glow stick navy blue spotted all over the rug. Positive for Gannon's DNA. It's his blood. Any other blood in the garage on the lumber? Yes. There were 3 planks of lumber laid out. Luminol hit on the carpet and on the wood itself. Not but droplets or splatter. Oh, nice, Gem B. Yeah, the Lumbee Indians, Dana. Oh, nice, Advocate. I think I'm going to have my DNA done Ancestry and see exactly what I am. Yeah, give Spencer some props. He has been on, like, even when Letecia sneezes, he's there. Don't get dizzy, guys. Look away from the screen. Exhibit 37. The Nike shoe. Blood found on bottom of the right shoe matches Ganon. Swabs of the inside of the shoe were tested, came back and matched Letecia. Her DNA is in those shoes. He said yes. Later learned they are hers. He replies yes. Let me full screen this also because you do not need to see my icon. Look at how big that is. And that will be a little better for you guys. I'm trying to see chat, guys, too, but you know, I always talk about seeing squirrels. Oh, I love Spencer. I absolutely love him. Ooh, that's big. I probably don't even need glasses for this. Did you see evidence from the Blue Star analysis that there were to clean things up? Yes, some were slower hits, not as bright or dark. It slowly develops, like in the hallway from the laundry area, that slowly over time developed, large oval shape, 2 to 3 feet. If that's not disturbing. Let's read that again. The DA asked, did you see evidence from the Blue Star analysis that attempts to clean things up? He said yes. Some were slower hits, not as bright or dark. It slowly develops, like from the laundry area that slowly over time developed, large oval shape 2 to 3 feet. Matt, I'm only reading Spencer's court thing. I'm not going to read all of the. No, I can see what's going on. I got it, Matt. But what would I do without my overseas husband, my internet husband? Read it one more time. They're saying the blood stain in the hallway, Kate, was 2 to 3 feet from the laundry room. I'll stop by there one more time. Look away from the screen. You're going to get dizzy. I'm trying to hypnotize you guys. Is it working? Exhibit 37. Right here, Kate. Yes, I know that, but that I can't get that when I'm this big, Matt. But I can sit on. Let me go out a little bit. I got to make my husband happy. Hang on a second, guys. All right, we can see it right there. Does that, guys, work for you guys? Oh, she tried to clean it up. Yeah, I'm not going to. I'll read his additional tweets, Matt, but I'm not going to read the comments. Yeah. Look away. I think we should find out when the hearing is going to start. We should open up and rent a tour bus, and I think we should pick people up on the way and go to Colorado. We're still at the same spot. Juju says, I've got a indica lungs at the moment. I have a chicken named Indica. Two to 3 feet. Let's see if we missed any additional threads from Spencer Boy. No, I don't want to upset my internet husband. He's lucky he's cute. Let me see one thing. I'm gonna zoom back in, guys. I think we're good, hubby. Right? We should find out when it's happening. And I think that is like an amazing idea. I mean, I would be happy just watching Spencer on Twitter and holding sign for justice for Ganon. They are going to pass a new law, though. They're trying to pass a new law for Ganon. All right, let's see if Spencer's little fingers are working. Oh, Juju, I'm going to attach those Google searches to my community post as soon as I am done, because it does have the time and the date to the right, but I zoomed in so that we could all kind of actually, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I knew about a few of them, but I didn't know about should your husband's ex-wife buy you a Valentine's card for taking care of your kid. Nope, we're at the same one. They might have they might be talking among themselves in the room. I think. Matt, calm down over there. Look at him. He's like, I don't know why he doesn't just come on panel with me and let the girls hear his accent. I'm going to call him and give him a hard time after this. Okay, Matt, come back up and give me that link that you're on so that I can put it up here. I can't open it from my phone. So come here, Matt. Drop it back in, Matt. Let me open it up here. Can you redrop it? I'm going to open it on StreamYard. Where did that link just go? I just saw it. Did you take it out, Matt? Eduardo. I don't see you. I'm waiting for you to drop it, Matt. I'm watching right now. I love that name and names. You have the link, Matt. Just come up. Yeah, because I don't see it needs to. Matt, give me the link. I'm gonna kick him out of chat in a second. Matt, drop the link, please. You know what? Someone get rid of this man. Matt, give me the link that you're looking at. You know what? Let me go to. I don't need Matt. We got this. All right. Exhibit 38, master bedroom photo. We are a little bigger, guys. Hang on. All right. We are seeing a bed, 2 nightstands, and a TV on top of one of them. Was a gun recovered from this room? He said yes. Hubble points to a gun on top of one of those nightstands, exhibiting a close-up of a handgun top down. It's a 9mm stepson. SP, also in the corner, a photo of Ganon, maybe sitting on the nightstand. DNA matches Letecia Stauch from the back strap and trigger guard. Hubble was starting to explain specifics about the gun, and Mr. Tolini stands up saying he's not an expert in guns. Judge overrules, saying he's just giving his understanding of the evidence, not claiming to be an expert. Ooh, so her DNA was on the gun. You know what? She's evil. Hubble was starting to explain specifics about the gun. Okay, we did that. Says the sheriff was sent the 3 bullets from Florida. Our firearm experts believe those bullets were from this firearm. The bullet pulled from his head was from the firearm. They said yes. Cross-examination from Mr. Cook now. That's so hard to hear. Asking about where the DNA swabs were done on the gun. 3 people hit on that DNA. 2 of them were male. That's right. We know one was Al. Don't know the other person mentioned. This does not implicate him. He's not being charged. There were also 4 people detected on the laser site. Everything was sent to CODIS DNA database, and there were no significant hits. What does that make Blue Star glow? Don't know the exact process. It can hit on cleaning or iron or blood. Right. Do you know if Blue Star is reacting to the iron? I know that if it hits, we are going to test it. It's just a presumptive test. My gosh. What makes cleaning supplies glow? You will have to ask our people. I don't know how it works, just that it does. 6 sheriff people were there during their Blue Star search. Unbelievable. I mean, how did she even possibly think that she was going to get away with this? I'm just going to wait like 10 seconds, guys. And if Matt starts acting up, I'm going to call him. And I'll just crank call him all night. Jen says, yes, then in jail she got caught trying to make arrangements. That was classic, guys. Let's talk about that for... Hey, hi, what's out there? Let's talk about that for a second. When she wrote that letter to the snitch, and she said to the girl, I measured myself and I know I can fit out the window and I'm going to bust it out with a broom. I thought to myself, she's never going to be competent to stand trial. But look it, here we go. You cannot make that up. I measured myself and I am going to bust out the window with a broom. I showed the cells and the indoors of that she you can't make it up. Then we go in to say there were also 4 people detected on the laser site. I believe everything was sent to CODIS. There was no hits. What is it that makes Blue Star glow? Don't know the process. It can hit on cleaning or iron or blood. Do you know if Blue Star is reacting to the iron in the blood? So here we go. Sorry, guys. What makes cleaning supplies glow? You will have to ask our people on how it works, and that's it so far. Hi, Moonlight View. When I scroll, guys, just look away. I'm not trying to hypnotize you guys. Look at how those little numbers are moving like I'm in Las Vegas on a slot machine. All right, and then we go. All right, Spencer is replying to Spencer. Hubble says there was an issue with one of the cameras that they were using during that visit. Says there was an issue with the aperture settings, which controls how bright a photo is on the camera. At some point, the camera crapped out and they started doing hand-drawn diagrams. Mm. And someone comments, I really hope they get to Harley today. Indica, she drove him in the moving truck with her family. Brenda Aquar, that's her name. She actually lives like, I don't know, 3 houses away from Letecia's mom. She doesn't have any children of her own, but she was married to that Tom Bruce. He passed away. The one that drove the Harley. So connection to Brenda, if I'm not mistaken. Letecia's great grandmother, Bessie, is sister. Ruby is Brenda Aquard's mother. You get what I'm saying? That's the relationship from the lady who rented the car. And I know that for a fact because I have dug so deep in her family tree that I think I'm part of the family. Brenda's mother and Letecia Evil's great grandmother are sisters. And her name is Ruby. Nope, we're still at the same place unless Matt. We're still at the same place, hubby? Hey, Mad Jack, I wish Oli had tracked her and Gannon had been found so much sooner. Mad Jack, the cop was in the garage. Hi, Toka. Okay, I get it. Mad Jack, the detective was in the garage. Gannon's body was in the suitcase in the back of her car. He didn't go any further to look in the suitcase because if he would have opened that suitcase, he would have found Gannon. I bet Letecia was like, I bet she had like little Hershey kisses in her pants after that. That's probably why she was putting tissues down her pants. Oh, she's evil. I hope they put her in open population. Does that mean we're at the same place? Wait. Okay. That we wait a couple of seconds and then we can kind of catch up on a few. Couldn't you have used a camera phone? The other text can explain that for exposure that needs to happen. He's describing low light photos with a low exposure speed. That's how they get those dark, well lit photos. So it's a special camera. Yes, expensive lens. I don't know how to operate it. If we had the lights on and used a blue star, here and there was blood, could I see it? Lights need to be off, so no. Hubble says long hits last about 30 to 45 minutes for cleaning hits and 15 to 30 for positive hits for blood. I agree with you, Mad Jack. It's always like, could have, would have, what if I did it then? It just wasn't the time. She decided she wanted to drive him all the way to Pensacola, Florida. Why she chose that location? Some people had said that her brother worked there, but her brother was not living in Pensacola at that time. I was talking to a girl that actually went to high school with Letecia. Letecia has always been a trouble person. So that Cook is asking if the red blood spatter had been changed chemically with a testing agent and looked different in the photo. Nope, that's just the blood. Matt, stop it, or I'm going to kick you out of here and put you in timeout. We got this. We got this. Happy go lucky. Hello. Teabag. Look at how caring Matt is. He's a good guys. If you haven't sub to Matt because he's definitely following the Suzanne Morphew, very Morphew everything. You know, her stepfather was run over and killed by a car. They never found the person that drove that car. We all know that her husband, Chance, overdosed in a hotel room in Ohio, I think it was. She's definitely Letecia's not wired right. She doesn't think like just not even normal, just an average normal person. Okay, so then we go. There was some worry contaminated the scene in Gannon's room. Yes, I touched the carpet with an ungloved hand. There's in the report about it. Yes, I wanted to own up to that, make sure that my guys could learn from it. And if my DNA shows up, that's why. That's pretty scary. Why would you do that? Why would you touch? Right in, read that again. There was some worry that you contaminated the scene in Gannon's room. Yes, I touched the carpet with a gloved hand. Is that where he was touching the part that was Maddie and Krusty? Oh, like why would you even want to touch that without a glove on? There's a lot in the report about it. Yes, I wanted to own up to that, make sure that my guys could learn from it. If my DNA showed up, that's why. Damn. So you're concerned with not wearing gloves that you could be adding DNA to evidence? That is my concern, yes. That's all. No redirect. Hubble comes down from the stand. Kate's asking Matt, why did she leave so much blood? Blue Sky Girl didn't say that, Monk. You don't want to be in that family. Oh, no, I've spoken to a lot of their family members. I think that Eddie still sends me mean messages on Facebook. On Chance's side. Yeah, there's a lot to that family. A lot. Let me see what Kate said. Dana Meyer, I'm surprised they found him as soon as they did, because if she took him all the way into Florida in the Gators, we would have never had Gannon. Yeah, she kept him in a suitcase. What I think she was trying to do, because that area of water comes in between like the ocean and it's just like the end of the feeder to where the ocean comes in like a little while later. I think she was probably thinking that maybe a current was going to take him out, or she didn't realize that when she threw, being 4:15 in the morning, that maybe when she threw it over, she didn't realize that he didn't go in the water. I don't know. Maybe she panicked and she just wanted to get out of there. I don't know what she was possibly thinking. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know if her family were sleeping in the hotel or if the family was with her in the moving truck. It's just. All right, Special Agent Andrew Cohen with the FBI is next. FBI was mostly supporting role for the sheriff, gave resources, experts through videos, etc. Cohen is the lead agent in this case for the FBI. Human Animal says, did she shoot him as he lay in bed? I don't know. I think she might have been chasing him around for a little bit in the beginning. I guess we're going to have to wait for a forensics breakdown because of the droplets from the garage to the inside of the house. I don't know, though. I wish I we'll find out. It's going to be so hard to hear, though. Like when like the actual. So Cohen says he knows Gannon's family. Is it normal to look at a victim's family after a homicide? Yes. But no evidence Al was involved. He wasn't even in Colorado. He was in Oklahoma. Verified through other means. His flight and video show that's the case. Jen B, she have went out on her own. The hotel was only 3.3 miles from where he was found. And that's what I'm thinking, Jen B. I mean, she's crazy, but I don't know if she's like that crazy. Indica Dreams, remember what she said was the candle spill looked like vomit blood. She had dumped it on. Kate, Jen B, that's not on the way to North Carolina. So the family would have known they weren't in the route to North Carolina. Exactly, Kate. Like, what was your excuse for making a detour into, unless they separated there and they went with separate cars, but why would you make them drive all the way back up to the north to North Carolina instead of like almost straight across? That's weird, Kate. Even if you were going to go in your separate car and pay, like, why on God's. She's just. But I can't believe they actually let her sit out today. Yeah, but if you were going to North Carolina, you wouldn't even have to go down. You could just leave Colorado and go straight east. Take that little dip into Florida. You know? Says he is also familiar with Landon. No evidence she was involved. No. Hi, Jenny Penny. Yeah, she showed up with her little camera on WebEx, Jenny, and then she didn't want to be a part of it, so she walked out, and the judge let her stay out, and they were going to say, why do we even need a prelim? Let's just go straight to trial, but the judge let it go with her leaving the room. You watched the beginning, her little answers. Yeah, she's definitely acting like Letecia. Moonlight View says, why didn't she just divorce Al, for God's sakes? Such a TC hag. Bag. Yeah, I don't get it. Because obviously she wanted to keep Al, but she thought that Ganon was in the way. Because she's probably a sociopath. How many of you guys honestly thought that she was not going to be competent enough to stand trial? With everything you've seen and heard, and trying to escape in the van and getting her cuffs, like, she's a nut job. Cohen says he knows who Harley Hunt is as well. That's Letecia's daughter. Do you know if she was home at that time of the alleged murder? She was not. Did she go to work? Yes, around 8. The DA says, who was in the house that morning of the 27th? Gannon and Letecia. And this woman signed that letter too. And she said, Stauch, like, Kate says there is 300-mile difference in a route between Pensacola home in North Carolina. 300 miles, not 30. Yeah. And she, and even when you guys look at the Google searches that I'm going to put on the community, she was Googling Pensacola. Now, was it because that's where she wanted to dump Gannon's body? They also said that she was Googling apartments in Pensacola, Orlando, and Los Angeles. And I heard that before reading it today. So why Pensacola? Her mother's mother, actually not her mother's mother, Ruby's sister, Brenda's mother's sister, who is Letecia's great. It's Deborah's mother's, Betty Lou's mother. She used to live in Tallahassee, Florida. That's the only connection that I can seem to get Letecia to that Pensacola area. Jenny Penny. Oh, there's a lot of there's a base in that area. I don't know what it is, but there's a base there. I think it is. I'm not sure though. I would have to look it up. So the DA asked if Harley was involved in the murder. The murder she was not involved in. That's a rough quote there, but basically what he was getting at. That was just a little comment from Spencer asking if Harley had anything to do with the murder. So then the DA says, was there evidence that another adult entered the home when Gannon was murdered? No evidence. It's a dog's life. Hello. Per car rental records, there were a few hundred miles extra on the mileage. Well, something brought her there, whether she just thought, let me go down towards the water a little bit. That looks like a good place to drive. Then get rid of the suitcase with Gannon inside, but who knows what she was thinking. And and when you're moving and you're in a moving truck, you don't really, like when I moved from Florida back up to Maine, I don't think there was one time that I said, oh, let me go look in the moving truck and see if I found something. So it wouldn't be like crazy and saying that they had no idea that Letecia just put Gannon in there amongst all the other stuff, and he was in a suitcase, and he was probably, not to be mean, no disrespect, but he was probably frozen like a little popsicle. maybe why she put him in the snow too was because wanted him to be cold so that he wouldn't I don't even want to know what I'm talking about. So the family wouldn't I can't even say it. You ever think about that? You think that's why she put him out and into the snow? Oh, Jen B says, yeah. Indica dreams. Could you imagine having Teabag as your only parent? I watched some of Harley's videos on here. So soft spoken, her abuse just saying, yeah, I watched her biblical Harley's. Yeah, she's a pretty girl. The fact that she even did that with her daughter even remotely around her to Gannon is absolutely unthinkable, right? Who does that? Like, she's just, and then to drag her on the camera and knowing what you did. See, there was never a question in my mind. As soon as she did that video with her back turned, the one I played, let's go back to the beginning before this prelim started, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to Petco. I'm not going to follow anything else because she did it. Then when they started searching out in that area where they found the board and stuff, I thought, you know what? You can go back to my videos and I was there. I'm like, this is where she put him somewhere. I never questioned anybody else. But the Summer Wells thing, we're not going to talk about Summer Wells, but I'm just saying that one, I just cannot put my finger on it. I don't know. It's driving me crazy, actually. Matt Jack totally disassociated from her own daughter. It's a dog life. Same here, Monkey More. Yeah, I just can't. I'm gonna say this though. I do like Cracking Cases channel. I think Kate, I'm sure everyone knows who they are, but can you drop Cracking Cases link, please? If you guys have not seen that video on the trail by the bus at the Wells property, it's actually very interesting. I'm gonna watch them when I get finished with this, and then I'm gonna have to make Dune. Okay. We're still at the same place. Obviously, maybe it is 2:45 there. Yes, Kate, we are. Oh, it's a dog life. You know that I love Chasing Truth and I love Gray. I go on Gray's panel all the time. You're right. I love them both, even though Gray can be mean and hard-headed. I've been watching Gray Hughes since Kaneka Jenkins. I've been following Gray for a long time. I like Gray. I love Chasing Truth. Yeah, is that the trail, Indica? The trail behind the bus and how you couldn't see Cam? And Allison said that when they were, hey, Wendy Knox, and when they were uploading the picture, that's when she actually saw Cam, that video? Yes, I saw that. Of course I did. And then I saw the live afterwards when they came on to talk about it. And I like Gonzo too, guys. Yeah, cracking cases and Gonzo. Gonzo got like a, the guy Cheech and Chong. He's got the little bit of like the Cheech and Chong mixture with a little bit of Johnny Depp. It's crazy mixture, but it's there. He's a really cool guy, Gonzo. I like their morals. I like they have integrity. I like them a lot. Really just like them a lot. Good people. We're still at the same place, guys. They're probably talking to the judge. Serious happy vibes from Gonzo. Like happy as in a happy heart and happy. Cheech and Chong. Yes, I like Gonzo. Yeah, you can drop his channel too if you want, Kate. Like, he's awesome. He is awesome. Maybe there's something going in the courtroom. When they set a date for the trial for Letecia, I am going to call the office immediately and find out if they're going to let media in. If not, guys, we are renting a bus. Who's down for? I mean, just think, we don't have to rent a hotel room. We'll just all crash on the bus. Drive that big old bus into the courthouse with Justice for Ganon on the side. We got you, Ganon. Bring some of those little mega horns, guys. I'm serious. I think we should make the news. Where are you, Indica? It would be a trip from Maine all the way to Colorado. There's got to be a major intersection that everyone can scurry down to. It's a dog's life is laughing. You can bring your dogs too. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding, guys. I think it would be awesome. And then while we're there, we can get the new bill law that they're trying to pass in Gannon's name, so we can get it with Briasia's law that I've been working, Evelyn May's law. And if I knew how to work my Facebook group, it would have been open already. But I can't figure that thing out to save my life. I mean, I've got it figured out but I don't know how to make it open, invite people. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I did have the Discord open too. I don't know like where you go, but like it's all done. Nope, we're all saying, guys, is Matt talking about anything that he found? Let me just go back and double check. Let me refresh his homepage. Austin, see my perfect. I love it, Travis, Wendy. All right, so we are back. So 1 second, this new thread. Oh gosh, guys. You guys, this is definitely okay. So it starts, the FBI says they were looking for signs of abuse. Guys, this is what I just saw when I glanced through. This is a definite trigger warning. A trigger warning. Letecia Stauch, before this case, Tolini, her lawyer, said the interviews with her students and neighbors in the report show she was a good stepmother to him, Cohen. That's what the report showed. Yes. 1 second, guys. So then Tolini to Cohen, it's clear that dude, shut up. It's clear that Letecia Stauch frustrated you guys because she was clearly lying to you. It was clear she was lying, but I wouldn't say we were frustrated. This little ass. She has a history of fabricating stuff even when not being the subject of a homicide. Yes. I have a reason to believe there was anyone coming inside the home who was on that gun. But has anyone tried to figure out who those 4 DNA pieces were on the gun? No, sir. The back door was open and shut 10 times at the time you were saying, according to the ADT security system. I don't have the report in front of me, but that sounds right, he says. We don't know if the person coming in and out of that door is on that gun. Hang on this. Let me read. You know what, Spencer? You're confusing me today. All right. You know, he's like around and around and around. On 1 second, he goes to the top, he goes to the bottom. Hang on 1 second. All right, that's 47. All right. Tolini to Cohen. It's clear that Letecia Stauch frustrated you guys because she was clearly lying to you. It was clear she was lying, but I wouldn't say we were frustrated. She has a history of fabricating. Okay. Let's get past these. The FBI says they were looking for signs of abuse from Letecia Stauch before this case. Tolini, the interviews with her students' neighbors report she was good. Here we go. Tolini, there's a vast majority of child homicides that included abuse before Cohen and many. Tolini, and usually a biological parent is responsible. Cohen, sure. Tolini, a step parent is 10% of the time. Sorry. Cohen, I don't know that, but sounds right. Let's open the thread here. He says, nice house, nice stepmom from your interviews. Cohen, no one suspected that. No. Tolini, I wouldn't have left alone with her if he didn't think so. Cohen, I can't speak for him. Now asking about mortem injuries. All right, guys. Tolini, there's a surprising amount of them in this. No. Cohen, I can't speak to that. Tolini, has anyone asked the coroner who did that report if it is possible the gunshot wound or worse trauma was after death? And that's the end. Yeah. Gosh. Like, why would, yeah. CJ, yeah, I know CJ. I think he's gone. I just let him roam around the whole entire neighborhood. Like, he can go anywhere he wants. He's not locked in whatsoever. Amy Ashley, does that mean they were investigating her before, or just that they started looking for other signs of abuse when this happened? I don't know. I think when they found the blood is when, and her little change of stories, I mean, my goodness. How many times did she change her story and how many different people she blamed? Yeah, she is not wired right. But the sad thing is that she thinks that she is wired and what she says makes sense. So then it goes, not sure. When he says, has anyone asked the coroner who did report? And then the answer from Cohen was not sure. On to redirect with DA. Say brought up the idea the gunshot wound or the blunt trauma were after death. They need to be able to say the report says cause of death is gunshot and blunt force trauma. Is listed as cause of death agent, gunshot, and blunt force trauma. So I guess maybe one or the other could have been the one that did it, but they were both there, so they're both there. We're going to have to wait for the forensic team to come in. Let's see, Dana Mayer, that's a true range. Oh, he can go wherever he wants. The other day I was like 4 blocks away at this little store, and I pulled up and he was in front on top of the little steps, and I just walked out of there like I did not even know who he was. I'm like, bye. Amy Ashley, now that I want her to be able to plead insanity, but like how is she not? Exactly, Amy. Jackie, good citizen green, hello. Walk of shame is right? Like she couldn't face them over a video camera. And her hair is past her elbows. Not that it matters when her hair is, but I want to see a picture of Letecia. Oh. Okay. So the DA says you were asked about the likelihood the perpetrator in a child homicide is not the bio. Is this a unique case? Yes. You were asked about her lies. Was one of them that a construction worker essayed her, put Gannon in a suitcase, and took off? Yes. You can't make this up. But and then of course when she's at the hospital, she denies having an essay test kit done. Okay. Completely white on rice more. She's almost like it's almost dumbfounding. Right? I kind of like to wait a little bit, guys, just so I can like read a couple of them and not have to try to hypnotize you guys. Oh shoot. These are going fast. DA says there was a padlock on the backyard too. Can we pinpoint the day he was murdered? Yes, January 27th. The DA says they are all done. They rest. Defense rests as well. The judge now thinking of next steps. Woo-hoo. We will wait for the answer, guys, and we'll know from there if this is all because I guess they did it in one day. I think the next thing is the trial. So I'll find out, and if not, we're gonna have to prepare for a bus tour. I mean, if you guys have a dog you're out, you can't leave at home. Just bring the dog too. Did you see it? That would be crazy. Oh, Matt, thank you, my husband, long distance husband. I love you. We're not done yet. We have to find out what the next step is, and then we're done. I need closure. I need to hear what's next. I need to put it on my calendar so I can tell my boss I have to stay home for this. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks until the trial's over. Presser after court hearing. Matt, you have the link to the pressy? Or Matt, why don't you play the press conference and drop your link, and then we can head over there, and that way I can cook dinner. Does that sound like a plan, Matt? Why don't you play it, Matt, on your channel, and we'll head over there and sub to you. I bet we could get you to 1,000 subs. He's so close to 1,000. I have 2 fat guinea pigs. Oh, I had guinea pigs, Kate. 3rd grade, and I'm telling you, I swear to gosh, their names were Cheech and Chong. Don't ask me how I knew about Cheech and Chong in 3rd grade. Maybe my hippie parents, I don't know, but that was my guinea pigs' names. All right, Matt, see if you can access. If not, why don't you open up a VPN and say that you're in the United States? And then you can, if you had a VPN to the US, you can access all of them. No, Matt, don't talk. I love Matt's accent. When we did the Sarah Everard video and he was talking the whole time, all the girls were like, oh my God, I love his accent. All right, let's just do a refresh and see if the judge is done thinking. Done for the day. Sorry, Clear. She is not being quarantined for COVID. Judge now says we won't have a decision today, even though they are bringing Letecia back out for a 45-minute break. Guys, I'm going to set up Matt. Well, Matt, do you want to take over the second part of this? Yes, 3 Mountain. And you can do it just like me, or if not, I can come back on. I'll do another live, and I'll set it right now. The same live, but I'll reset it for 45 minutes. Yes. We have to watch this, guys. So I'm going to end this. I'm going to set it up right now for the 45-minute and for 45 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes. And I'm going to run down the street and grab a sandwich for dinner. And then we can watch the second part with Letecia and. Okay, guys, does that work for you? Matt, you can call me. Yes, Dana. So they're on break 1 minute ago for 45 minutes. So my guess is they're coming back at 3:45. So I will be back here at 3:40 Mountain Time. 45 minutes I'll be back. 3:40 Mountain Time. Yes. I'll be back. And I'm going to set the live now so that if you guys want to chat or whatever, then you guys can chat, okay? All right. All right, guys, thanks for coming in. I'll see you in a few. Matt, I'm calling you on the phone when I get off this live, when I go to the store. All right, guys, bye. See you in a few for Letecia Evil. All right, bye.